Welcome to the Sowing Seed Podcast. One guy's thoughts on family, faith, farming, and financial freedom. Now from the studio in EIEIO, where the only traffic jam is getting behind a tractor on the road, here's your host, Matt Miller.
So I'm down the hill last night weeding one of the 25 raised beds that we have in preparation for a couple of weeks from now when we pass our last average frost date, which is the middle of April, and making sure that I've got plenty of beds weeded so that I'm able to get tomatoes and peppers and squash and all those types of things in the ground pretty quickly, since I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling here over the next month and a half or so. Anyway, my wife Amy was out doing a bunch of running around the yard as well. We've got some rock piles that have been there since I think the house was built, actually. And she has been moving a bunch of those and building some rock walls along some of our fence lines and that type of thing. Well, my responsibility is kind of the vegetable garden primarily. Her responsibility is the gardens to the front of the house, the flowers and that type of thing. Well, last night she was trimming back some of the lavender that survived the winter and comes running down the hill, kind of waving and hollering as I'm listening to some music on Spotify with my phone. So I hopped on up and ran up the hill to find out what the deal was. And as she was trimming the lavender, she moved back some branches, and right there that she literally touched in the process was a baby rattlesnake coiled up, just sitting there looking at her. We've had a bunch of snakes here at EIEIO in the last 7.5 years since we've been here. I'll have to share some stories with you guys as we go of some of the encounters that we've had with some others previously. But up to this point in time, they've all been non-venomous. They've all been snakes that, are actually good for the farm in a lot of ways, that take care of rodents and that type of thing. Though I don't like snakes at all. The only good snake is a dead one, in my opinion. So despite many of them being good, we have chosen to dispatch each and every one that we've come across over the years. Well, this one was no different. And I came up with a shovel, and as I'm walking up to see this rattler, it's probably about 1 foot long, maybe 18 inches long. One of our cats, Squirt, was literally 6 inches from this thing, facing off with it. And probably if we had left things alone, Squirt probably would have dispatched it, much like she and her brothers have dispatched other snakes that we've found on our back doorstep and other rodents, etc., over the years. But we encouraged Squirt to back off. She moved out of the way, and I took the shovel and beheaded the rattler before it could actually do any damage. Definitely got the pulse racing, especially in Amy. And once again, just a quick reminder for us all to be wary, especially this time of year as it's starting to warm up and snakes and other critters come out of hibernation or their burrows to take advantage of the warmth that is beginning to happen here at EIEIO as the seasons change. So anyway, little update from here at EIEIO. Definitely keeping things interesting around here. The first rattler we've ever found. I think the cats and the dogs, etc., have done a pretty good job of scaring most of the snakes off, at least up here around the house. But this is one that has not been scared off, or wasn't. And because it's a young one, my guess is there's a bunch of others of that age around that we're going to have to be extra vigilant about in the weeks ahead.
Thanks for listening. Check out our website, sowingseed.net, the Sowing Seed channel on YouTube, and if you got something out of today's podcast, give us a 5-star review on your podcast player of choice. Until next time, go plant the seed you need to succeed.